So in the last class we are discussing about elastic behavior of material. Means when we apply a force on any system, any body, its shape and size deform, and when we remove that force, when it come to its original shape and size, then that behavior is known as elastic behavior. If it is not coming in the same shape or size, then that behavior is known as the plastic behavior. And then we have also discussed about some terms, terminology used in this particular chapter, and that was that stress and strain. So this stress is equivalent to force per unit area. So when this force is applied per unit area, then that physical quantity is known as stress, and strain is the change in dimension, upon its original dimension, and this is stress, and this one is strain. And we have classified this stress in 3-4 parts, and also this strain in 3 parts. The first one of the stress is known as tensile stress. When that object is stretched in a particular direction, then changing the force per unit area is known as tensile stress. And the second one is known as compressional. So compressional stress means when we compress that system, then the force per unit area, that is known as the compressional stress. And then next one is hydrostatic stress. So when we apply the force in all the direction, then that is known as hydrostatic stress. And the last one is shear stress. When the force is applied in the tangential direction of that body, then that is known as the shearing stress. Similarly, in the same manner, the change in dimension in original dimension, this ratio is known as strain, and this is classified as longitudinal. So this is longitudinal strain, and this longitudinal strain is one direction. So this is change in the length upon its original length, that is the longitudinal strain. And then second one is volumetric strain. When the change in the volume upon the original volume, this is known as delta L by L. This is known as delta phi by phi, and this is known as the shearing strain. And this is the angular change, because when we apply that tangential force, then in the two parallel, if we have this type of system and we apply the force, then its shape is changed, and the difference between these two parallel lines, or those parallel sides, and the displacement between these two parallel sides, and this is known as this theta. This is known as shearing strain. And this, if this is x and this value is if h, then this theta is defined as equal to x by h. So this x is the displacement in the two parallel planes. This is the lower, which is one is the fixed, and this is in the motion where this force, the shearing force is applied. So this x upon this h, which is actually equal to theta, this is known as shearing strain. So we have 3 types of strain. One is the longitudinal, second one is the volumetric, and third one is that is shearing strain. And the ratio of these two, this is known as modulus, or modulus of elasticity. So the modulus of elasticity we have defined, and this is the ratio of, this is equivalent to the ratio of stress by strain. So the ratio of these two, about two physical quantity, this is known as the modulus of elasticity. And we have classified this modulus of elasticity as, first one is Young's modulus. So this is Young's modulus. Second one is bulk modulus. So this is bulk modulus. And third one is known as rigidity. This that shearing modulus. So this Young's modulus, this is corresponding to the ratio of this, the first two, when we are just applying the force in a particular length, along the particular length, and the ratio of this longitudinal stress, this is Young's modulus. Bulk modulus is related to this hydrostatic stress and the volumetric strain. So the ratio of these two, this is known as bulk modulus. And rigidity, this is corresponding to the shearing stress and this is shearing strain. So this is known as rigidity. And now we will further discuss about these Young's modulus, bulk modulus, and the rigidity separately. So first, let's have this Young's modulus. So first, that Young's modulus. So this Young's modulus, this is represented by Y, and this is the ratio of tensile stress upon longitudinal strain. The ratio of this two. So the tensile stress upon longitudinal strain. If we have a fixed wire somewhere here, and if this is that the wire, it is hanged on this particular wire, and let's say this length is L, and if this radius of this wire, so the initial length of wire, it is equal to L, and this mass hanged is M. So the force applied, which is known as what is this force is known as? Deforming force. So this deforming force, it is equal to F, and this will be, if this is mass M, so this will be equal to mass multiplied by C, gravitational force applied by the earth. If the radius of wire is R, let's say the radius of wire is R, then the cross section area, this is equal to pi R square. This is cylindrical wire, so the cross section area, this is equivalent to, this is A, which is equivalent to pi R square. So we can calculate the tensile stress as well as longitudinal strain, and after applying this force, if I should say this is the initial length without applying force, and after applying force, if the change in the length is, let's say, delta L. So delta L after applying load, the change in length, of wire, this is, let's say, delta L. So this is in centimeter, whatever that unit is, irrespective of unit, just I am writing physical parameters here. Now we can calculate stress. So the stress, that tensile stress, this is equivalent to force upon area. So this is force upon area. So the force is here, this force is what? This is that force, equal to that load. So this is mg, and this area is actually the cross section area. So this is that cross section area, this is the force. So this is equivalent to pi R square, and strain, that tensile strain, this is equivalent to change in length upon original length. So this is delta L by L. So the Young's modulus, therefore Young's modulus okay, so this Young's modulus Y, this is equal to the force mg by pi R square by this delta L upon L. So this is mg L upon delta L multiplied by pi R square. So this is Young's modulus. So in some books, this small l is represented as capital L, and this delta L is represented as small l. So that is small l is changing the length, and the capital L, that is the original length. So this delta L and small l can be represented as L upon capital L. So formula may be seen different. So this Y is equal to mg L upon pi delta L multiplied by pi R square. So this is Young's modulus, and its units and dimensions are same as this stress, because this strain, this is unitless and dimensionless quantity. Okay, so all these calculation, that is this calculation is within that elastic limit. So before going to further detail, let us define some more terms related to that elastic limits and other quantities. And in order to know that, we must have strain stress plot and Hooke's law. So strain stress graph for a metallic wire. So you all know the behavior of that metallic wire. When we stretch it, when we apply that force, deforming force, then its length increases, and the elastic behavior shows that when we remove that force, that will come to its original size. So this is a plot to show that behavior in detail. So in the x-axis, let us represent this is strain, and this is stress. So initially, this is starting from the zero. There is no force applied, there is no stress, there is no strain. When we start applying force, then there will be obviously force per unit area stress, and both will increase in a constant ratio up to a particular limit. So here one straight line we will get, and at this point, this is 0, this is, let's say, A. So we have this point A. This is known as elastic limit. Elastic limit. What is the elastic limit? This is the maximum point up to which, when we remove that force, that particular system will restore its original shape and size, and this is that elastic limit. And here, this stress and that strain, this is changing in the constant ratio. Means we can, if we want to calculate that Young's modulus or that modulus of rigidity, then we just calculate that tangent of this particular graph. This is the straight line. And if you know the behavior of a graph, and this change is showing just straight by this straight line, then if we calculate that slope is, this is the change in stress, this is this, and this term is that strain. So the ratio of these two, this angle theta is whatever that angle is, tan theta, that is known as tangent gradient. I think you know that gradient term. So gradient is the ratio of this and this. This is Young's modulus or that modulus. So this limit up to which its behavior is in elastic behavior, and when we remove that force, the system will come in its original size. After this point, when we apply the further force, then this shape of this line changes slightly. Now it is now not changing in the proper ratio. So change is further there, and this point is B. So here the slight more strain is obtaining. So up to the first point, both are changing in a proportionality value, but after this point, there is a change up, but this change is not in a proportionality. Means we are applying small force, stress is small, but strain is more with compared to that stress. But still, the behavior is still elastic behavior. Still elastic behavior is still there. Means if we remove, obviously that system will come in restore in its original shape and size, but ratio is not changed. So if you want to calculate this modality, then this elastic limit is required. That calculation, this is within this limit. So this second point B, this is known as yielding point. I think it is yielding, yes. This is the proportionality limit. This is proportionality limit. This is yielding point. Yielding, spelling check, yielding point, this is known as that elastic limit. Because that behavior is still elastic, so this is known as elastic limit. Elastic limit, because here that behavior is also elastic. So this point is B, this is elastic limit. And here this is the proportional limit. And generally that experiment is performed in this limit, because this is in proportionality level. So this B, this is yielding point. After that, the behavior of that system is changed. So when we further apply the force, we have a drastic change, and the change is random, and this is up to that point C. Now system is deformed permanently. Means now elastic property is gone, plastic behavior is showing by that material. So this is known as plastic plastic behavior is showing, and this point is known as. So after that point C, the plastic behavior is there, and when we further apply the force, this D, it's a permanently plastic, and after that wire is broken. So this is D point, this is that fracture point rather than broken point. Okay, clear? Just I am repeating what we are having here. So this is the plot between strain and stress. This is for the metal wire. When we apply that stress, means force per unit area, strain increasing, and this is in the proportionality form at a constant ratio. Then this up to this A, this is proportionality limit. So here we can say this stress is proportional to strain. Second, when we further apply the stress, then this is not now in the proportional form, but also behavior is elastic further. Means when we just remove that force, that system will come back into its original separate size. So this is that yielding point, and this B, this is also known as that elastic limit. And after this, behavior changes, and that plastic behavior starts, and up to C to D, that it is permanently plastic, and after D, system is broken. So that breaking point is the fracture point after this reading. Next term this we should know, that is Hooke's law. So according to Hooke's law, in this elasticity limit, within the elasticity limit, means up to this point, mostly up to point this A. So within that elasticity limit, the stress is proportional to strain. So this is Hooke's law. This states that within that elastic limit, that stress is proportional to strain. So one can write this stress, it is proportional to strain. So with this constant, so we should have one constant. This is proportional. To remove this proportionality sign, we will use this one constant K, a constant multiplied by that strain. So this stress upon strain, this is equal to a constant, and this constant is known as modulus of, this is known as modulus of elasticity. So whatever calculation we have performed for that Young's modulus, we use this particular law, Hooke's law. Here that stress, this is proportional to strain, and this is also showing with this graph. It's a proportionality limit, and that ratio, this stress upon strain is a constant, and that constant is known as modulus of elasticity. In first case, we have represented this as a Young's modulus Y. So this is all this definition. This is within that elasticity limit. Remember this. This behavior is not true for this. This behavior is only true for this. Okay. So now we can discuss about the method of calculation of Young's modulus. So experimental method. So experimental method to determine Young's modulus Y. So in each and every experiment, what we do, generally we just have we must have one formula, and we try to find that parameters given in that formula by experiment, and we can get that result. So for Young's modulus Y, the formula for Young's modulus Y was that Young's modulus Y, it is equal to stress upon strain, and that is equivalent to mg, mass, multiplied by original length upon that change in length multiplied by pi r square. This was the formula we have derived just right now. So this is the force per unit area, that area is pi r square. So this is the original length and this is the change in the length. Means if you want to calculate this y, then we must have the value of this mass, g, we know this is the constant, length, the original length, initial length, and the change in its length, and that cross section area of that wire means that radius of that wire. If all these parameters is given, we can easily calculate this Young's modulus experimentally. So in the experimental setup, what is actually done is, this is one hanging wall, right, the fixed point, and the two wires, identical wires, are hanged together. These are the two wires. In order to keep this wire straight, initially some weights are hanged here. So this is that initial weight on that wire to keep these two wires straight. Length is given, so this L, the length of wire, these are identical. So initially we can measure the length. So the first parameter, this L, it is okay. So we can calculate this length, just we use meter scale and length. So first parameter there. Second, so this y is equivalent to mgl, capital F, and then pi. So these are the constant, pi is given, z is given. Length, this length, the original length, initial length of wire, it can be measured by using a meter scale. So length is okay. Now, this initial mass, whatever given, this is just in order to keep this wire straight. Then we further use some more weight here, this m, and we can know this m, how much weight we are loading here. So this m can be known easily. So m is also, this is the known parameter. Whatever that mass we are using, we will have. So this parameter is okay. So length is okay. Initial length is, we have that initial length. M is okay. We have whatever that mass we are hanging here, we know. Next is this R. R is the radius of wire. So this length L can be measured by meter scale. First parameter. Second, mass. This is the load. So this is also known. Third, that radius R is the radius of wire, and this is measured by screw gauge, because we need accurate measurement. So it is measured by screw gauge. Okay, so now the radius of wire is also known, initial length is known. Okay, now one parameter which is required to measure is, this is delta L, the change in length. In order to measure this, what experimental setup is required here is, one scale is fixed with this wire. This is that scale. This is fixed with this wire, and one pointer is attached with this. Okay, so when this capital M is not here, that is small m, this identical mass which is being used to keep this wire straight, this is identical, means this first reading, this will be the first reading. That first reading is actually the L, the length of wire. Okay, so it is set accordingly. When these two wires are just straight, then this first reading, it is just the length of this. L is measured. Okay, so and the second, when we just hang this capital M, obviously there will be change. This will the length of this wire will be increased, and this reading, the reading will be somewhere here. So the second reading, this is the second reading, this is the first reading, and this is the second reading, because its length will be increased, and this change is equal to delta L. Okay, so that initial length measurement, that is small m. After hanging this capital M, its length is changed, and this delta L can be measured by keeping the difference up and by measuring the difference between these two readings, and this is the delta L. So this is the methodology to calculate Young's modulus. So all the parameters, small l is there, capital M is there, and so for different weight, different mass, measurement is this particular experiment is repeated, and one can have a graph between that mass, this mass, and that length L for different mass, because single calculations se nahi hota. For different mass, this different L is measured, and this is we are getting this one straight line, and the ratio of these two can be setted here, substituted here, and Young's modulus can be calculated. So this is the method of calculation of Young's modulus, and this setup is Young's modulus measurement set. ओके चलिए जल्दी बनाइए इसको. हो गया, चलिए कोई छोटा सा कैलकुलेशन यहाँ पे कर लें, डाटा लिख लें और उसको कैलकुलेट करके देखें. सो in order to calculate in your NCERT book, one steel rod is given, steel rod of radius it is equal to 10 mm, length L, this is that original length, this is given is equal to 1 meter, and force applied, the deforming force applied is deforming force applied, that F is given as equal to 100 kilonewton. So 100 kilonewton along its length. The Young's modulus of wire is, where y it is also given, that is 2 into 10 power 11 Newton meter square. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate the stress. Calculate A stress, B elongation, C strain on the rod. Simple formula based elongation, delta L elongation, change in length. So stress, elongation and strain. Calculate this and compare that result. Okay.